Hello everyone, Raymond Martinez here with Muleshoe chapter, the Men of St. Joseph. I wanted to share some thoughts with you on this week's gospel from this Sunday. This week's gospel comes from Matthew chapter 22, verses 15 through 22. So it's Matthew 22, 15 through 22. So if you want to follow along with me, you're more than welcome to. So basically, this gospel reading is a retelling of a story that Matthew shares with us about a question that was asked of Jesus, whether or not to pay the census tax. And so it's interesting that Matthew is the one who recounts this story with us, because what was Matthew's job before he became an apostle? Before Jesus called him. Well, Matthew was the tax collector, and not only was he a tax collector, he was the chief tax collector. So he was in charge of a group of tax collectors, under him. He was, the supervisor, so to speak. So it's interesting, that he's the one that recounts this story, to us. But anyway, starting at verse 15, chapter 22 of Matthew, it says, "Then the Pharisees went off and plotted how they might entrap him in speech." Okay, they're talking about Jesus. They're trying to find how can they trap him in speech. So they sent their disciples to him with the Herodians, saying, okay, now it's interesting how they greet him, okay, because remember, they're trying to trap him in something. They're trying to get him to say something that they can use against him. But this is how they greet him. "Teacher, we know that you are a truthful man, and that you teach the way of God in accordance with the truth. And you are not concerned with anyone's opinion, for you do not regard a person's status." So, we know you speak the truth, we know you're a truthful man, but we're trying to find something. We're trying to trap you. "Tell us then, what is your opinion? Is it lawful to pay the census tax to Caesar or not?" Okay. Now, it's interesting what they ask of Jesus. First they tell him, "We know you're a truthful man, we know you speak the truth," but they don't ask him for the truth about the census tax. Notice what they ask, or how they ask. They ask him, "What is your opinion?" Okay? Because an opinion, they figured, if he gives his opinion, then we could probably grab something out of there and use it against him. Whereas if we ask him to speak the truth, we probably won't like what he's going to say. and we probably won't be able to use anything against him, because it'll be the truth. So we're going to ask for his opinion, and then we'll use his opinion against him. All right, that was their thinking, right? So they ask him, "What's your opinion? Is it lawful to pay the census tax or not?" Well, Jesus, he goes on, verse 18 says, "Knowing their malice, Jesus said," okay, Jesus caught on right away. He figured it out right away. Not only because he's Jesus, he's God, but I think also just common sense. He picked up, just as a human, he picked up right away, these guys are up to no good. And so he says, "Why are you testing me, you hypocrites?" Okay, because of the way they greeted him. "We know you're a truthful man, you speak the truth, but at the same time, we're trying to trap you in speech." So that's why he told them, "Why are you testing me, you hypocrites?" Okay. So then he tells them, "Show me the coin that pays the census tax." They handed him the Roman coin. He said to them, "Whose image is this, and whose inscription?" Okay. they answered right away, Caesar's. Okay, of course it's Caesar's. Everybody knows it's Caesar's. It was almost like a dumb question. Whose image is this? Well, everybody knows it's Caesar's. There's no question about it. But anyway, he asked the question anyway. But there's a reason why he asked the question. Whose image is this, and whose inscription? Okay, there's a reason why he asked that question. It's not because he was, because he didn't know, or because he was, trying to act dumb or anything. There's a reason why he asked that question. And so they replied right away, Caesar's. Okay. At that he said to them, Jesus said to them, then repay to Caesar what belongs to Caesar, and to God what belongs to God. At that they were amazed, and leaving him, they went away. They didn't know what to say. They didn't know what to say because, what can you say? Because he left them kind of dumbfounded, in a sense. He got them to thinking. Okay, so if the coin has the image of Caesar, then Jesus is saying, give it back to Caesar. Okay, if it's his image, give it back to him. But then he goes on to say, repay to God what belongs to God. In other words, whatever has the image of God, then give that back to God. They didn't know what to say because they got to thinking, well, we know where Caesar's image is. It's on the coin. Where's God's image? He wanted them to stop and think and realize that we are all made in the image and likeness of God. That they themselves, were made in the image and likeness of God. So therefore, if they're made in the image and likeness of God, then they belong to God. If we are made in the image and likeness of God, then we belong to God. So where's God's image? It's here in my heart. It's here in my mind. It's here, hopefully, in my face. Hopefully you see the image of God. Where's God's image? So wherever God's image is, then that belongs to God. So therefore, I have to give that to God. So if God is in my heart, then my heart belongs to God. If God is in my mind, then my mind belongs to God. My whole being belongs to God. And he was trying to get them to understand that and to realize that even Caesar belongs to God. Okay? Everything belongs to God. Everything has the image of God in one way or another. Okay? Everything was created by God. So everything belongs to God. So that's why, Jesus was trying to get them to understand, trying to get them to realize that. But of course, at the time, they didn't get it. They didn't get it. And what they didn't get was that the very image of God was standing before them. God himself was right there before their very eyes, and they didn't even realize that. They didn't get it. They went away. They were like, this guy's crazy. Okay. So, my friends, where is God's image? Where is God's image in your life? Give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. Give to God what belongs to God. All right? Okay, well, I just wanted to share some thoughts with you on that. Have a blessed day. Remember, the Men of St. Joseph, we meet every week on Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. in the Parish Hall of Immaculate Conception Catholic Church in Muleshoe. You're more than welcome to join us. All Christian men are welcome, regardless of church affiliation. You do not have to be Catholic to attend. As long as you are a Christian man and follow the teachings of Jesus Christ, you are more than welcome to join us as we discuss Scripture, as we get together and pray for ourselves, for our families, and for our community. All right, well, you have a blessed day, and we'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.